Hey everybody, welcome into the L Ranch. How's everybody doing today? So today we're going to be back on the Backroads County map, taking a look around here. I'm going to grab a horse right quick. I'm going to go over and take a look at the cattle and kind of give you an idea of what I got going on this map. Let's see if we can round up one of these cayuses. It doesn't matter which one. They're all pretty good shape there. There we go. Scary Clarabelle. Yeah. So, normally I would trailer this guy and trailer him over there, but I think for today we're just gonna jump some fences and make our way. So I've got a lot of things going on this map, new, different, let's say. So kind of ride by some stuff. I'll kind of give you an idea of what's going on here. So this is the train transfer silo system here, and pretty handy. But what you can do is you can put it wherever you want. You have to line it up with the tracks the way you want to line it up with the tracks, but other than that, it's pretty amazing. And so the other thing I have is I do some container moving and stuff, and what we've done here is I've got us a container dolly set up, and we can actually call the train. On this map it has 3 flatbed cars on it. You can back it up to here. You can actually stack them 2 deep. Well, no, you can't. Sorry, I'd made that mistake once before. But you can only stack them 1 deep, but it actually will accept the stuff when it goes through the tunnel at the end and give you the money for it. So yeah, pretty interesting. So, and here we are to the cattle pastures. So the way I have these set up is I actually have 4 pastures. Each pasture is designated to a particular breed. This is my Hereford pasture here that we're passing now. And I have not looked the last couple of days to see exactly how many I have in here, but yeah. So, and then this pasture over here is going to be my, I believe I got my limousines in this side. I think the limousines are Angus, and I'm pretty sure it's limousine. Yep, limousines. These are all beef cattle through here. These pens don't actually make any, they don't actually make any milk or anything. They're just for beef cattle, which is kind of my thing in game. So this tractor here, we'll have to come back over and catch this in just a minute, but the way I have this set up is each one of these particular pastures has, of course, a drop point on it. I have my tractor here with an auger wagon set up to actually make laps in these 4 pens, keep them full of food all the time. That way I don't have to worry about cattle starving or anything, which, believe it or not, happens, especially using the new realistic livestock mod. You mess up a little, you're gonna be hurting for certain. And here's my Angus pasture. we'll take a closer look later, probably when I come over here to put that tractor back in service. For those of you who don't know, if I get off the horse will automatically go back to the pasture that he belongs in, so that's why I don't do it now. And just because this is my Scottish cattle here. The only reason I wanted the Highlands expansion was for the Highland cattle. And again, good looking. They operate a little differently than the other animals. You don't get bulls with the Highlands. Because Arrow, who does the realistic livestock mod, hasn't actually added them in yet, and I'm sure he will eventually. Let's get over here, kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on over here. So what we've got going here is I keep a dedicated silo for this side of the map, and all it has in it's TMR. And the reason I do that is that way I can use that auger wagon to make that lap and keep those full. We'll run over here right quick. I do have sheep on this ranch. Yep. Here's my sheepfold for this ranch. And once they start producing wool, it'll actually spawn inside this little building here. Another neat mod that I actually use on these maps is this is a water supply mod. And so basically what you can do is you can set this up next to your watering area and set it to distribute, and it'll actually keep your animals watered for you. So yeah, if you have, so I don't like some of the sheep barns that don't have that have auto water with them, and this one here I really like, but it does not have auto water. So I just utilize that little gadget there, and it keeps me up and running. So pig barn over here. Beautiful map, by the way, guys. I just I'm always stunned. I know it's just a surround, but it's a really nice surround. And here's my pig barns. So and the horse is hitting a collision that you don't hit in a vehicle. That's interesting. But I'm gonna head on back to the ranch, put the horse back in the barn. We'll grab a truck and start actually doing a little work. One of the things we need to do is we need to create fields and mow inside the cattle pastures. Since that is meadow in there, it allows you to actually cut that, right, bale it, and turn it into baled hay or into just loose hay, which loose hay is usually how I work. I do bales if I'm doing alfalfa or clover specifically, because most of the time I only sell clover and alfalfa. If I yawn on you guys, I'm very sorry about that. It's not that I'm bored, it's that I did not sleep well for some reason last night, so get crazy horse off of the highway here. It's not good on its hooves. That's pretty. Running through that canola. Yep. And I don't have to ride it back over here, but I always do. Just because I'm that brand of dumb. So, got 2 buckskins there. Yep. I'm sorry. The animal animations, especially on the horses, are just so much better than they used to be. They're just really amazingly better than they used to be. Don't know if the collisions are gonna let me go there or not. Nope. Oh well. I was gonna try something here. I usually try to whoopsie doodle. Well, that didn't work. Got a dressage course set up in here. Oopsie. Actually, I'm way too Texas. I don't really know what dressage is, folks. I'm gonna be deadly honest about it. Oh, mule. Okay, this ain't gonna work. So let's get out of here. It's my straw back up for the horses. This is a feed bin here. I feed straight oats, and what I can do with that is go ahead and dismount. Get back around here to the front of the house. Actually, I tell you what, let's do. Let's come on up here. We'll grab this case tractor and get it started to the I think we're just going to have him go to the TMR pasture TMR container for right now. I've almost got my folders all organized. That's a big deal. Nope. I'll stop. Pasture food pasture silo. Let's go to pasture silo load. Unload. That way we don't get in the other tractors. Let's see. Disconnected. Not. Okay. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to actually have to create a course play course for inside the cattle pens so we can mow in there. And so, yeah, that'll give you an idea what we're up to there. And this is all alfalfa hay here that I have wrapped up. This is my snow removal tractor, excuse me, for this area. Doesn't get a lot of use, but I think today we're going to pull up a little bit. Drop that. Spin around. That's actually snow blower is what that is. But what I'm going to do is drop this salt spreader next to my, there we go. By the way, this is a really neat little shed if you actually use auto drive, because it actually has the drive-throughs already set up, and the map maker was really ingenious. As you add more of these, it changes the prefix. Where this one's 1811, you have, I'll show y'all, you have 1811 through 2, 169, you have 158, 154. So what it will do is it as you put another one in there, it actually changes that prefix, so you can keep adding these until the cows come home. Cows come home. Made it funny. So what we want to do is let's catch our tractor. That should be right there by now. Yes, he is. So, what we're going to do is we're going to create a courseplay course inside the pasture here for our tractors to get around. So, one of the interesting things that's happened is I've got a glitch somewhere. And I'm sure it's just a simple mod conflict, and my pasture gates won't open. So what I've had to do is actually we're gonna try them again, but I'm pretty sure they're not gonna open. Well, I'll be darned, they worked this time. But they hadn't been actually working, which is very frustrating. So let's I'm gonna go get that other tractor started before we start laying that course out. So one of the things with auto drive that's really neat is if you want multiple unload points on a route, you actually can create those and drop them in a folder, and click on any one in that folder, and what it does is it will use all of the ones in that folder, and it will just rotate around them. And what that actually looks like here is you'll have this represents your tractor or whatever you're driving, and these represent the multiple points that it's actually going to go to. It doesn't actually pick and choose by which one's lower, it just creates a route by which one's closer. Pretty smart little piece of software here. Yeah, so here we go. So what we're going to do is this one's going to go to 3 first, which is right over here. What he'll do is he'll line up for it. He'll actually extend his auger. And if it needs any, he'll actually just throw a little bit in there. Yep, just like so. And it's pretty darn cool. Like I say, pretty smart little piece of software for something in a game. I keep saying that somebody needs to adapt this to be used in real life too. So, let's get out. Try to get out of his way here. He decided 4 needed some too. So, back to what we were talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a new field in Courseplay. The easy way to do it. And close this gate because I don't want it in my way while I'm working. There, yeah. See how tall this meadow grass is here? So, the first thing you want to do, find you a point at a stopping point, basically. But I suggest doing it halfway down, not the longest. It doesn't have to be the longest side, but it needs to be a long side. And what you can do at that point is, let's open that back up. You want to clear what course that you're on, which is this little hash right here. Then, if you'll hit your record button, it's going to give you the first point of your field edge. Now, once it makes one more point, you can pause it. You hit pause, drive straight forward. I always suggest not driving all the way up in the corner, and I will show you why here in just a second. But if you unpause, now he's going to pull 1 point from where you stopped to where you are. You get one nice straight line. It's going to be the right distance from the fence and everything. Now, if you're going to come up in this corner, if you make this a nice, smooth, curved corner, I use an Xbox controller, which is nice for this because I can hold that thumb button very gently and get a nice, even curve. Now, this section here, you can run a straight line there, but I usually don't because it's not very far. So, I'm gonna make a turn here, and what we just did is we just created a corner that I didn't really want to create, but nothing we can do about it now and then start over. You cannot erase points in here, to my knowledge. And let's pause again. Be careful, don't hit that stop button, because if you do, it's going to kill your course and you have to start all over. Okay. Got a little away from the fence on that one, but it doesn't matter. And you can drive it too. It creates more points, and whether that actually makes a difference or not, I don't know. But I try not to make any more points in either kind of course, in a Courseplay course or in a auto drive course, then I absolutely positively have to, because quite frankly, data is data, and it either has to load or unload that or whatever to function. And by creating less points, that creates less data, and less data makes your life better, without a doubt. I'm gonna pause right quick, and this time we're gonna go all the way to the other side of the field, which is exactly what you can do. And that's one of the nice things with being able to add that single point pause like that, is I can just run hammer down all the way down that fence line. I don't have to worry about bobbles or wiggles or anything like that. But when I get out here where I've got some room, sit here, bump that pause button again. Now, another big point to think about here is you never ever want these to overlap. Stop has to end before you get to, there you go, just like so. And then all you have to do is when you click off of the record button, like so, it's going to ask you if you want to name this and call it a custom field, and you're going to tell it yes. Now, when you go back in here, well, I don't have an implement on. I'll show you here in a minute. So, and we're done. There's actually a field assigned in here now. And that's actually, so one of the big things that I do is I don't bale grass. I use a grass dryer, and then if I'm gonna bale it, I use a stationary baler and bale it, and I usually park the stationary baler at the barn that I want to store it in, and it actually will drop it in there for me. So let's go, we're gonna go get the let's do, I'm gonna go ahead and create the fields for all of these. I won't be as in-depth while I'm doing it, since I've already kind of went over that with you guys. I may do it one more time and walk you guys through it, just to make your life better. But I think you got it probably if you're gonna get it. So let's run over here right quick. We're gonna pick up our mower. Speaking of which, I've probably got a forage wagon I need to find. Yep. He's already working on a field. I just hadn't restarted him since I stopped the game. Wow. Something, and it could be something I added to the game, but something has changed the way my tab through works. And sometimes I will tab over something and try to tab back to it, and it will not do it. It won't jump backwards once. I'll have to jump back like 2 and then tab forward again, and it'll put it on it. If anybody knows what's going on with that, drop me a line. I'd love to get that fixed. That's irritating, because I have a tendency to tab through tractors rather than map clicks. So what we're going to do, and I'll show you here, a couple of different ways you can do this. I tend to do it the way I'm going to show you, but I'll tell you the other ways too while we're at it. I need somebody to open gates for me. So, and I have tried to use auto open gates before. There's a mod for that if you guys haven't tried it, but it has some weird functionality, is the best way I can think of to put it. So now I'm going to unfold, and we're going to set this up to drop a left swath. Now let me tell you what we're going to do here is, if you tell it to drop a left swath, it's actually going to drop on the right side. From this view, it's going to drop on the right side of the tractor. Your guess is as good as mine on that. The other thing that I try to always do is I want to start on as long an edge as I can, and I will show you why. So if I started up there in the corner, I should have done it just so you could see it, but so let's go back up there. By the way, cows are phantom. There are some makers out there, map makers, or excuse me, mod makers that have created tractors and things that do not recognize that the cattle are phantom, i.e. the Riptide hay collector or forage wagon. The whole thing will ignore the cattle except for the actual cutting head, or excuse me, the dang it, pickup. It will all recognize it except for that. So, okay, let's start with a new course. Now, if I just go in here, see, hard to see it, but there we go. Okay, if I just go in here, I'm gonna put a white line around it, which is what we want. If I come up here, I'm going to go clockwise. We're going to start on the head one. And let's do 2 headlands. And again, we're going to go clockwise. So, generate there. We're going to get zigzag fields, or zigzag lines. Kind of sucks. So, there's 2 ways to fix that. One is you can come down here to follow curve edge, and if you activate that and then regenerate, and see, I don't like that one either. A bunch of little short routes, okay? So, if we come back down here, about halfway down this longest edge, we don't have to change any settings. We just say follow the field, just like we just did. And about halfway is fine. Now then, we go back into our temporary course. And we have it recalculate one more time. And it should do exactly what I wanted it to do. So now it's all long passes. Now, that doesn't make much difference for the mower. It makes a huge difference when you're actually picking this hay up. So, yeah, there's that. Now, we have our swath set. The swath drop, and i.e., it says left, it's going to go to the right from this view. So, what we want to do is going to say first waypoint, and we want to have him drop and give us 20. No, drop and start running. So, what we got here is we're pushing everything away from that fence. That way, when we go to pick it up, we don't have to fight with that fence. So, we're going to go ahead and make this corner here. And if we did this right, which I'm hoping we did, he's not going to have any hang-up spots in here. And the way you can tell is if you're coming down the line here like we are now, and you see a red marker like that one to the right there in that square corner, that tells you that instead of just making a corner like what I'm doing here, that tells you that what's going to happen is he's going to stop, make his turn, back up to the line, and then restart mowing again. That's kind of the brakes on that. But that's the way it works. And I'll show you how he makes that corner here in just a second. Now, if I were going to make hay here, because I'm not making hay here, reason why is the field moisture is, get over here where we can see the field moisture here is 90.838, and it's got 108 moisture retention. What that will tell you is that this hay is not going to dry. So if you come in here with a tedder, you ted it over, and you try to wait for hay on it, it's just not going to happen. A lot of people say, well, wait until the afternoon to cut and this and that and the other. I've had no luck with that whatsoever. So that's why my modus operandi is to actually use the dryer to do that with. We'll set our field up here. But that didn't work. So, same thing we did earlier. We're going to go find our long edge. We're probably going to start at this end of the long edge. Like I say, we're going to pull like 2 points. And then, well, I forgot this one's got a big curve in it. So Yeah, we'll still do it. So, you can get closer to the fence than I did over there. I'm going to do it here just because. But, you got to have at least 2 points. Once you have your 2 points, you hit your paws, pull forward. Again, remember in these corners, we want this to have a nice round edge, so we want to actually record the corners live. Just like so. Pause after coming out of the corner. And run down this fence line till you get where you want to be. Sorry, I get concentrating on what I'm doing and I stop talking. But by creating these fields and making them permanent, what you actually can do now is you can use that to, and you can, believe it or not, you can actually come in here and fertilize this. And yes, that's what we want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out of this field. Believe it or not, that mower has finished up in the amount of time it took us to actually draw the field on that other one. Come over here in the limousine pasture. I have an interesting thing here. I want to show you all this. If you're using the realistic livestock mod and you mark a cow in the system, they actually are marked out here. That one actually is marked as a cull, which is usually what I mark them for. And in other words, her genetics are not up to what I would like to see to breed back. And as such, she's gonna be one of the first ones I actually sell. Probably should have just jumped into that other tractor. Interesting thing here is, like, if you're not in a vehicle, you can't come up here and click on the finished work and jump to the tractor. Again, that's kind of a, I don't know, I wish that was a function that would allow you to teleport to each piece of equipment as you needed it. And we're going to do the same thing we did over there on this field here. We're going to go to the long side on this. And do our start on this long side. And I always find if you open this one up, it is pretty big, before, and it kind of gives you an idea of where you're at from the fence. So on a temporary course again, exactly the same. We want to do exactly what we did a minute ago. And it should think for a minute. There we go. Not as straight as I would have liked it, but hey, you know, there we go. So, we go back out now. We have our start point and first waypoint. Let's get it on. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. So, next thing we want to do is jump back over here in this other tractor. Try not to do just a tutorial. I want to enjoy the gameplay while I'm going here. There it is. Lost my tractor. Oop. Oop. By the way, just FYI here, it really doesn't matter which direction you actually drive the course in when you create the new field. You can do clockwise or counterclockwise. I'm going to do one counterclockwise just kind of so you guys can see what's going on here. But the cool thing about custom fields in Courseplay is you take this was actually a field when I started here, and I cut it up. Now, one of the fun quirks of doing that is let's say I use the field options in the power tools. If I use the field options to let's say I mess something up and I want to add grass, or I want to take something out or whatever. If you make changes to the original field in the field options, what will happen is all of these roads will revert to whatever the field is, and well, there you will be. So probably gonna have trouble with that corner. Kind of messed up. Wasn't paying close attention as I need to. Let's just call that good. Now, used to, you couldn't change the names of your fields. I have a new mod installed. I have not had a chance to try it out yet, but it actually is supposed to allow you to name your fields whatever you want to name them. My question about that is, and that's the main reason I downloaded the mod. Again, haven't played with it any, but the main reason I downloaded it is I would like to see how that works with Courseplay, and see if Courseplay recognizes those designations as well. So if I changed it to L Ranch, I have these named after what breed that there is in here. This is Angus, Highland, Limousine, and Hereford. Now, that's what they are in my auto drive to get here. Now, that being said, that creates an interesting thing. So you can call them whatever you want in auto drive. That's not a deal breaker there. But for Courseplay, it actually inherits the field name from the game data. So if you have a mod that changes the name of that, my question is it changed in the game data? Or is it a mask for the game data, i.e. field 13 shows up as L Ranch Angus through the app or the mod, but in the game, it still sees that as field 13. Does that make any sense to anybody besides me? So that's I'm curious about it. It doesn't matter if it works, it works. I don't care why it works or why it doesn't work, if it does or doesn't. Now, that completes all of our fields here. Let's see if we can't get him back out of here. Our mower's, yep, our mower's done again. Let's leave that gate open. Now, when I'm sitting in the tractor here, and the mower has finished his course, if I hit the finished course up here, I jump straight into, oh, wrong one. There you go. We've got another field down there to pick up. Here. Pick up 53, so I'll show you guys how to do that too. So, if I come in here, temporary course, click, I'm going to zoom out big time. Field 64 is a grass field. It's been cut, and I want to come up here and pick that up. Plus, and I'm going to set this to follow the longest edge. I don't care about skipping rows. This tractor turns pretty tight. If you go to skip, if you have corners that are too tight at the end, you can hit the skip rows, and what it will actually do is it widens that turn out, and it'll go all the way over, I'm going to say odd numbered. It'll go all the way to the far side of the field on odd numbered stops, and then it'll come back on even numbered stops. Whether it's odd or even's arbitrary. Now, we know that that is field 64. So if we come back over here, I'm going to send him to 64. And I'm gonna, this little horseplay icon, if I click that, auto drive will drive him to field 64. When he gets there, it'll automatically switch over to horseplay field work, and it will basically pick up that whole field. And as long as I just have it on travel, it won't do anything with that. It'll just stay there. So there's that. We have another tractor finished somewhere, and that's that big M. So let's get him out of here into that next field. Again, this one really doesn't have a longest edge. It's kind of like that one over there. By the way, this is one of the easiest vehicles in Farm Sim to drive. It just handles very, very well. Yep, I was fixing to mess up. Need to spin him around. There we go. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to run back over here and pick up our other forage wagon. And I think it's cool how sometimes you jump in these and it puts you on top of the tractor. Oop, wrong one. I actually have forage harvesters in the field right now that I'd forgot about. Go hit him, get him started. Looks like he is done. So we're gonna put this off, correct him, and what I'm gonna have him do run to the car wash right quick. I have grass on here. Oh, the issue is that forage harvester still has forage in it. We're gonna I'm not gonna let me cut that, so get the rest of this off of here. Well, now it cuts it. May not let me cut this where it's the puddle here. We'll see. It's going out. I bet that is some wet silage. We're just a little bit past our halfway point. Gonna be here till 6 tonight, as usual for our Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Probably no show for Friday this week, as my darling wife is coming back home after an extended trip away. And I think we may actually try to do something for Valentine's Day. And if we don't try Sunday, we'll try Monday. And haven't decided what we're going to do yet. If you've got an idea, drop it in the chat there, and I'll consider it. Whether she'll consider it or not is a completely different thing, but I'll consider it for sure. So. What I'm going to do when we get done with this field is I think I'm going to paint that edge in just a little bit there. To make life a little better. I'm wondering if that's not why I'm having issues with the edge of the bound. The water physics in FS25 is pretty exceptional, to say the least. I had teased doing a little bit of building in this one, and I'll do auto drive courses for that when we get over there. But what I'm going to do is I have run out of room in my current grass dryer, and I'm going to need to actually put another one in. And I have an area on this map that's dedicated to TMR production, and that's actually where I'm going to establish that at. And this tractor gets dirtier than anything else. It's just crazy how filthy it gets. Whoever did the dirt and wear layer on it needs to be taken out back and spanked. Because I've seen some dirty tractors in my time, but I ain't never seen anything this dirty. Another little trick that this one actually does is maybe they didn't set this one up. They did not. So what this is actually supposed to do is this whole turntable here will flip around. Oh wait, maybe that's what's wrong. On the actual, this one here, I had never noticed that before. I just always work everything counterclockwise. It works out for me. So. Now then, what we're going to do next is we're going to fold all this up. Put augers out still. And I'm gonna send him the truck wash. He's gonna literally turn out looking chrome when it's done. Again, it's one of those deals where they really did some weird stuff with the base layer on this. So once you're here, we're running from 71 to the silage tower 2. If I hit this button here, the two chevrons together, what he will do should he should have jumped into the tower 2, but we're just going to do this way. Feed production, silage tower 2. And if you just toggle that power on and off, it'll continue. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, start these guys here. And he should heading to unload combine. There we go. So this is all started. About half a field left here. Just silaging the corn out of this. At 85%, he's going to take off and go to the silage tower. So back to what we were doing before. So I'm going to come over here and out here. Get him sent home. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the TMR production area, and I'm going to give you guys a little look at that and show you a few course creation things for auto drive to try to make your lives a little bit easier if you use auto drive. Again, it looks like a mad woman slung spaghetti on a wall sometimes, but I have a particular logic to everything I do, and I'll be quite frank with you. I don't know that I'm right, but I don't know that I'm wrong. So try it. If you like it, use it. If you don't, that's okay. Just don't badmouth me for it. So one of the things we're going to talk about is generating a bypass for production unload, or in this case it's going to actually be for the unloads for the TMR production facilities, and how to make sure that your devices will utilize that versus going where you don't want them to go. That can be pretty frustrating because you get a truck hung up behind something or somebody at one of these facilities, and you've got a forage harvester, for instance, sitting in a field waiting for them to return, and they're not coming back yet, and then you wind up having to go figure out what's going on and all that. So the easy peasy lemon squeezy way to handle that is to create a bypass for things. So I'll show you what we got here. So I'm going to turn my points on. Now what I need is a bypass around these silage processors, and to do that further, I don't want to take up a lot of room, but I want to make sure I've got plenty of room for this stuff to bypass on. So the easy way to do it, to hit record, you want it to be on the green lines. Can't emphasize that enough, because what happens is if it's not, they're going to have to figure out and prioritize where you want them to go. So now I've got a line that's yellow. I got part of a line that's green. Yay! Get a truck there. I should have went to restart him. I want him to go to Silage Tower 2. Oh, I'm in the wrong one then. And let's go. So, be sure your record is off I got out of the tractor, so I didn't have to worry about it then. But you get back in that tractor and that record zone, you're going to regret that. Because you'll make lines you've got to now you've got to go remove. So those 2 points there, I'm just going to ignore those. I don't like them. So, and if you roll your mouse wheel up or down, it will actually change the line for the route. If you use Alt, left click, you can delete points. If you come over here to the first point where you come off of that main line, here's your main line. You can tell that because when I click on this, it's going to light up this one, this one, this one, and this one back here. See? Right there. So, if I click that one, hold down the Shift key, and click this one, it's going to turn that whole route green. If I do that again, it's going to turn the whole route yellow. I don't want that. I want it green. I just wanted to show you that. So, I'm going to hit Shift again. Click that first one. Hold down the Shift. Click that second one. Now it's a primary route. And what will happen is when something comes to that point, that's going past that point, it's going to take this route. The only way it's going to take that other one of those other routes is if it's going to shower 1, solid shower 2, or any of those. So now our next thing that we want to do is, so I need more grass dryers is what I need. I have decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a grass dryer. I'm actually going to put 2, but I'm going to put a grass dryer production right here. So you can't get too tied up in directions. Now there are things in this game that you have to deal with what direction you enter that or exit that item. But for the grass dryer that I'm using, that is not a concern. Fermenter, I don't want a fermenter, that is a grass dryer. So what I want to do is I want to zoom in best I can. And the reason I parked the tractor there is I'm using it as a reference point to set this first item. Then the next one, I'm going to spin it around 180 degrees. You can actually use that to kind of line up with too if you want to. So I like my stuff really straight, so and they can touch, it doesn't matter. I have the mod on, the Place Anywhere mod, and I use that for that. But so the next thing you want to do is get out of that first. So my plan is to be right about here. I want to record from there right across. I want to be sure I am straight across that pad. When I go out the other side, want to be right there, and this is going to be PMR, excuse me, PMR production. Yep. Too many R's. Production. Dryer 2. Now, Forest Whites 2 is when I'm facing north, I go left to right on everything. And I know you guys probably think I'm nuts, but hey, it's the way it is. Remember what I was telling y'all earlier about not being sure and turning stuff off? Hell, there you go. Just like so. Turn that red dot off. Now, what I want to do is I want to be pretty much in exactly the same spot on this side. Rotate around a little bit. So we can, and that is pretty darn close. So what I want to do is I want to turn record on again. We're going to roll forward. Again, we want to go across that as straight as we can go. Now, I'm going to come out here at least one more. And that's actually pretty good, I think. And then I'm going to name this PMR production. Again, these are my naming conventions, guys. It doesn't matter. Dryer 1. Now, these are load, unload. It doesn't make any difference. So I only create them as dryer 1, dryer 2. Now, I want to find the middle out here. And I want to be as straight as I can be. Right here. And I want to come out to about right there. And I'm going to hit record. And I'm going to roll forward to there. Now, I'm going to connect in right there to that. No need to go the other direction from here. I could set it up that way, but there isn't really any need to do that. So now, since I did that, all I have to do is come back over here where I can grab both of these. I can click, click, and I count rolls. That was 4 rolls up. And I'm going to go 4 rows up there. Now, doesn't matter to anybody but me, but it looks neat and I like that. So there you go. Now, same thing on the other end. What we're going to do is I want to get as straight as I can. The easiest way to do that is just to find your center here. And then back up. Now, I want that to be a two-way route, what I was doing there. It leaves this one as a one-way route here. Now, record again. We just want to create a straight line. All we want to do. And probably about right there. So we're not making any wild moves around. And that was 6 rolls of my scroll wheel. Now, easy things, easy peasy while you're here. Click, hold shift, click, shift, there you go. Reason you do that is you don't want anything using this route just willy-nilly. Because you don't want something tying that line up and keeping you from being able to get to what you're working on there. Now, I could go from here, but I won't. What I want to do is I want to come over here, grab this, and pull a nice, easy curve there. Again, shift, click, it'll turn to green. Click again, it's going to be, nope, it have all been yellow. There we go. That'll do it. Okay. There's your now. One of the quirky things in auto drive is that auto drive can see this green all the way down here, and if it sees it, it'll try to use it. It's just quirky that way. So here we have, I'm going to go back over what we did. We created a bypass to go around those 2 silos there. That way a truck can come in here to get to the hay dryer or the TMR production facility. So what it would do is it would come around here. And this goes back to TMR production. And then this is another parking area for the truck here that's out running around somewhere. So those should have been switched over, and they were not. There we go. So I have a point in this map that was here from the very beginning. It's called Hoff, and that actually returns everything back to the main farm. This particular tractor, I usually use it with a trailer on it all the time, and when it has the trailer, it will go back to its parking spot. So auto drive looks at things as units. So if I create a parking spot for this tractor with a plow on it, for instance, we'll just use plow. With a plow on it, for instance, it will use that plow to, and the tractor will send them back to where I told it to park. But if I try to just use the tractor, it won't use that. So, okay. That stupid truck. I swear. Well, Mr. Cartel. Those of you who don't get that. But what we need to do is we need to get him out of the way. Right here, fast track. Let's go ahead and send him to we're going to just gonna have him go to the new grass dryer. And that's an example there. If you'll watch here, let's do it and hook it back up. When I'm hooked to that, this doesn't, when I'm actually connected to this, my part right here, if you don't know what this little P button is, it'll save your butt. Excuse me, it'll save you. Let's go ahead and click off of disconnect. Now, if I hit that, probably gonna have to come up here. Well. Sounds like we've got, there it goes. Sounds like we've got a broken route somewhere. Because the quad track park is right there. But neither here nor there. And there's our broken section. And it's all better. So we've covered quite a bit today. We've brought in some hay or grass that turned to hay. We have also brought in quite a bit of corn silage, and we're still working on that. We've also built 2 new grass dryers and generated auto drive courses for those to help us along. And the other thing we've done is we've discussed and learned how to do field creation with course play, so you can actually have your custom fields there. Well, that backup line looks like a drunk made it. Here. Works. And there we go. He's on his way. So, the other thing we need to do is we need to track down. There we go. That's exactly what we're looking for. We need to go pick up those other 2 fields. Or excuse me, the other 4 fields. And get that grass put in the dryer. That'll be our next task. Let's see. I'm the first person today. It's annoying when you're actually in the tractor. Doors. Ah, my mirrors. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. There we go. I don't use that very often, so I dang sure didn't like that steering wheel up like that though. So here's where it gets tricky, because as I was telling you before, the cows actually have collisions for this vehicle alone. Why it's that way, I don't know, but it's that way. So now the boom arms on this, the extended pickups, do not have collisions in them. But the thing that we wind up getting into with this is that the center section of this does have collisions on the pickup. Here, we'll hit a cow on purpose and so you can see. right there. So you have to navigate around the cows, which is a nuisance, to say the least. Again, you'd have to navigate around them in real life. I know that, folks. So. But it's a nuisance in farm sim. Dad, blame it. I almost made it. Well, we're starting to wind down a little bit, guys. It is 5:53 Central Standard Time in the good old U.S. of A. See what I did there? I was making hay, so I said hay. But, so you guys know what's going on. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, we're gonna try to stream. I want to say I'm going to stream a minimum of an hour. I'm thinking I may stream closer to 2 hours on a standard basis. That's what I have been doing up to this point. But I'm really hoping to start getting some viewership. I've had some folks show a little bit of interest and everything, but my channel still doesn't have but a few views. By the way, there's if you're just looking for videos to watch and you're not necessarily concerned about learning so much, there are videos on here all the way back to FS20 or FS17. I have some long stuff, some mid-range things. All of them are relatively decent quality, and all of them they all have educational educational aspects to them. A lot of the things in farm sim, especially horseplay, auto drive, and these established systems, there are things in the old versions that you can pick up and transfer over to the new stuff. And which is fabulous, because the thing is that gives you a knowledge base that isn't just one permutation of or one layer in this game. And I'll be honest with you, I was skeptical about FS25 when it first came out, and was slow to update because, quite frankly, I loved my FS22, and you'll find that there's some similarities between videos that I'm making now and videos I've made a long time ago. And so again, there's a knowledge base there that you can utilize if you choose. The other thing is I'm always available for questions. If you want to jump on my Facebook and join the group there, that would be absolutely fabulous too. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe here on YouTube as well. I'll be honest with you guys. I've not monetized. I've never monetized. I do this because I love the game, and don't get me wrong. If I monetized, it would tickle me pink, as I'm retired, and a little bit of extra income wouldn't break my heart. But as for right now, that is not the goal. The goal is just to enjoy doing what I do, and if somebody else enjoys it too, then more the merrier. So, as we wind down here, I would really appreciate it if you guys would give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And excuse me, I'm dodging cows. And also, if you would go over to Facebook and join there too, it would be wonderful. Up, we'll get through the gate. I missed cutting the pasture there. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know it did that. The pickup width stays the same whether the pickup is down or not. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hanging in. Thank you for hanging out. And remember, guys, let's every school child should be playing Farm Sim. Everybody needs to learn where their food comes from. And this is an excellent way to do that. Thank you, folks. Come back and join me again on Monday.